Hi everybody, Movie for Your Next Door here, and I'm finishing off my 200 subscriber marathon uh, with my favorite film of all time, Leon the Professional, or just Leon, or just The Professional. Could go by any of those three. But yeah, this is my Blu-ray Steelbook pop art from Best Buy. I can't read the signature of who did the art, but it's very beautiful art. But yeah, I'm always going to defend this film. I don't care what things people make up about it. I don't care at all. I just care that I enjoyed this film immensely. It is 100% my favorite film of all time. And yeah, I'll try my best to talk about it without fanboying, but yeah, I fucking love this thing. So, film is Leon the Professional, directed by Luc Besson, came out in 1994, and it stars Jean Reno, Natalie Portman, Gary Oldman, and Danny Aiello. Now, in the film, Leon, the top hitman in New York, has earned a rep as an effective cleaner. But when his next-door neighbors are wiped out by a loose cannon DA agent, he becomes the unwilling custodian of 12-year-old Matilda. Before long, Matilda's thoughts turn to revenge, and she considers following in Leon's footsteps. Now again, you already know what I think of the film. I fucking love it. I love it with a passion. I first saw this film not long after my father had passed, and movies became an escape for me. Whenever I felt down, I'd watch a movie. Before that, I had watched movies I'd seen, like Raiders of the Lost Ark, Babe, Nightmare on Elm Street, even up to that point. But after my father passed, it became more of a thing for me. Like, I started seeking out more movies, going to the theater when I was younger. I haven't been to the theater in forever. Whenever Sound of Freedom comes out, if it comes out in a theater near me, I'm definitely watching it because I really want to see it. But yeah, it's just less and less opportunities to go to the theater, less people willing to go. So this film came at just the right time for me, as I was, hitting puberty. Just, as I was growing up, seeing this movie, it really stuck with me. It really did. It stuck with me, and with how the story goes, with how Matilda is played, and I don't think this film would be nearly the gem it is without Natalie Portman, without Jean Reno, without Gary Oldman. Danny Aiello, he does a good job, but he's not in the film that much. I'm talking about the three main players. The fact that Natalie Portman was not even nominated for an Academy Award for her performance in this. Not even nominated. Not even saying won. Nominated. Is a disgrace on the Academy. I mean, I never trusted the Academy to begin with, but the fact that this film, back when it first came out, people were like, it's okay. Roger Ebert gave it a 2 out of 4, talking about how unrealistic it is. It's a fucking movie, dude. Sorry about the sounds. But, talking about how unrealistic this is. It's a fucking movie. It's a drama. It's a thriller. It's a movie. It's not trying to be realistic. I always think that's a very big cop-out. That's a big cop-out excuse to be like, oh, it's unrealistic, therefore it's a bad movie. Yeah, Paranormal Activity is considered a good movie. It's not unrealistic. Also, Roger Ebert liked that, and Blair Witch Project. Both of those are unrealistic. I digress. This film again, it came to me at the right time. The first time I saw it was a neighbor had brought it over back when we had our condo around Topsail. We watched it there, and it just hit me. It really did. It was an emotional gut punch. All of the acting, just the cinematography, the music. The music really stuck with me, and that's one of the things I hear getting kind of lambasted in people's reviews on like Letterboxd, on IMDb, even on Google, or Rotten Tomatoes. The reviews that are aggregated through Rotten Tomatoes is people talking about how bad the music is, how creepy the movie is, which I don't really see that. I'll get into that, but I gotta talk about the cast. Um, Jean Reno is Leon. Here it says Leon Montana. I don't think it was ever. I don't remember his last name ever being said. But Jean Reno is Leon. He plays this role so damn well. I can't believe he wasn't nominated for anything either. I don't think he's ever been nominated for an Academy Award. But he plays this role. I think it's insinuated that Leon is supposed to be autistic, which it's nice to see a portrayal of that in film that's actually quite endearing, because Leon is a very endearing character. He has certain like mannerisms that where he's acting kind of like younger than his age, and there's certain mannerisms where like there's the contrast of him taking care of the potted plant, like spraying its leaves, wiping its leaves, leaving it in the sun, drinking the milk, so much to the point where he's buying 2 pints a day. And the contrast between that and him being a hired killer, I think that's a very interesting way to play this role, and I think Jean Reno did a fantastic job here. Natalie Portman, well, I'll talk about her in a second because I've got to gush more about her performance. Gary Oldman as Norman Stansfield. He is the villain. He is a DEA agent. He kills Matilda's father, mother, half-sister, and brother. And Gary Oldman plays this so fucking well. He's so fucking scary. I think this is his best performance of his career. I'm not just saying that because this is my favorite film of all time. I think this is his best performance of his entire career. Now, I know there were other reviewers, again, Roger Ebert. Roger Ebert thought that Gary Oldman played it too over the top. I don't think that's a thing for the most part. I think if you play it over the top, it has to match the feel of the film, and I think that matched the feel here really well. But yeah, Gary Oldman, awesome in the film. Natalie Portman as Matilda. She acts the shit out of this film, and this was her first film. This has to be one of the best first performances of anyone's career. First leading performances of anyone's career, which I know because back in the day they'd be like, oh, put the big stars above and say like introducing. They didn't say introducing Matilda or introducing Natalie Portman. She's just third billed, which makes her a supporting character, which annoys the shit out of me that she could never be nominated for best lead actress, because she is the lead actress in this film. She's in the film just as much as Jean Reno. But still, the fact that she wasn't nominated for anything really pisses me off, because she plays every emotion there is. She plays anger, she plays fear, she plays happiness, and she plays them all so well. She's one of the best, if not the best, child actors I've ever seen, even though I'm not a person who campaigns for child actors because of all of the abuse you hear about with people like Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, pretty much everybody that's been through Disney Channel, Miley Cyrus, Emily Osment. Like, I don't like to support child actors, but I will say that Natalie Portman, she's one of the few that like seems to be having a good career still. So it's nice to see that. And Denny Aiello as Tony, he's kind of there. I like him. I've always liked Denny Aiello. I haven't seen a ton of his films. I know he's in Do the Right Thing. I know he's in Godfather Part 2. Haven't seen Godfather Part 2 in forever. He was in Jacob's Ladder and Moonstruck. I liked those films. But yeah, he does a good job. But yeah, this film really, again, I keep repeating myself. It hits me on so many levels. It hits me, it scares me with Gary Oldman's character and his performance. It thrills me with the action scenes in the beginning and end. It makes me cry with Matilda realizing that her little brother's dead. And her like wrestling with depression over this, and this film just makes me feel all the emotions. It really does. It's a bit hard to watch in places because of that. And if you go into this film wanting a straight up action film, if you go into this wanting a straight up action film, I'd say don't watch it. If you want, because in the way of action, there's maybe, I'd say maybe 10 minutes in with the extended cut, the 2 hour and 12 minute running time. The theatrical cut, I do say the extended cut is better. I do think the extended cut adds a lot of extra scenes between Leon and Matilda that actually flesh out the relationship better. And I mean, if you actually watch it as a film and don't harp on personal issues that other people have, then you can actually fucking enjoy it. But again, don't watch this movie if you're just looking for like an action-packed film. It's not. It's maybe 10 minutes of action within maybe 13 minutes of action altogether. But it's not really elaborate action scenes. There's a decent action scene at the beginning and a decent action scene at the end, and there's little bits of hits thrown in throughout the film. It's not like it's focusing mainly on the action, which is why I think Roger Ebert's comment about it being unrealistic and how Leon kills the bad guys, I think that's a weird comment to make, given that the film isn't trying to just be an action film. It's so much more with its story, the characters, and just everything else it's trying to do with its characters that are admittedly very multi-layered. But I've got to talk about this one thing. I'm not going to talk about it long. People on Letterboxd, on Rotten Tomatoes, on IMDb, everyone has talked about it. They have to mention that Mai Wen, who is in the film, she's like the blonde girl that the big guy is sleeping with at the beginning. She was Luc Besson's wife, the director of the film's wife, while they were filming this. And she says that the relationship between Leon and Matilda was based on hers and Luc's, because Luc married her when she was 16 and he was 32. Yes, I will say right now, it's not okay that he married her at that age. I don't care how much in love with him she was. I don't care how much in love he was with her. That does not mean that her saying that has any real weight. She didn't write the film. She didn't direct the film. That's like with Lion King, freaking Matthew Broderick saying that he thought he was doing a Simba movie instead of a Kimba movie instead of a Simba movie. That has no weight because he didn't write, he didn't produce, he only voice acted in the film. He had no real hold over what the film was supposed to be. So I don't buy that as evidence. And people talking about how there in the original screenplay there was a sex scene between Leon and Matilda. I have found no actual evidence that the screenplay is anything but what someone else wrote to give the film more bad press. If someone wants to give me evidence for that, please fucking enlighten me. I'm not just mad because this is my favorite film. I'm mad that it seems like people can't just enjoy a film. That they'll love all these films from Woody Allen, Victor Salva, from Jon Favreau, from what's his face that directed the X-Men films, Bryan Singer, who's like, all these people are like fucking children. But no, this one French guy who married a girl who was 16, well, yes, that's not okay. You all shit on him just because he's fucking French. They don't understand that the age of consent in France is way lower, and the marrying age in France is way lower. Yeah, I understand she was still a child, but it was consensual, and it's in another country. It's a different thing. I understand that some people don't understand that. That's just me. The relationship between Leon and Matilda in this film is nowhere near sexual. The relationship is more, Matilda has a bit of hero worship, and she doesn't know, because she's still a child, she's 12 or 11 in this, she's still underdeveloped, and she's being forced to grow up too quick because of what she has experienced. Seeing her parents and all these people dead, and walking up to Leon's door, begging him to let her in. This is all an emotional thing, and she's confused with how to show her emotions. She's not even really in love with him. She isn't. She doesn't know how to feel, and she feels that she has no one left in this world. So, if anything, I see Leon as a father figure. I never really saw anything of, oh, he's falling for her. I think that's a load of horse shit. I don't know what anyone's talking about when they're like, oh, you can see that he's very clearly falling in love with her. No, he sees her as a daughter, basically. Like, I don't know where people get this shit from. They watch a movie, I feel like I've watched an entirely different fucking movie from them. Anyways, this film is fucking fantastic. It really is. It is as close to perfect as I think any film I've ever seen is. Like, I have no issue with the acting. I have no issues with the editing. The score from Eric Serra is, I think it's his best. I go between this and GoldenEye. I guess GoldenEye does have a couple songs that aren't that great, but here I had no issue with the music. It seems a lot of people do have an issue with the music. I've really never understood the issues with Eric Serra as a composer. He's worked with Luc Besson a lot. I haven't seen all of the movies with Eric Serra's score, but I'll try to watch more of them. But yeah, this is what I'd want in a movie. Like, makes me feel all the emotions, great action, fantastic acting performances. I can't say anything less than fantastic. The fact that Jean Reno learned his lines phonetically, and it comes out as clear as it does here, and with as much emotion as he puts into it, that's a fucking godsend, because most actors that have to act in English phonetically, it comes out really bad, especially with Chinese films that I've seen. It can be very rough. But yeah, I love this film to death. I can't really say much else about it because I really want people to watch it. I want people to watch the extended cut, not bitch and moan about like, if you're gonna say anything bad about the movie, actually say something bad about the movie. Don't bring your... Don't try to act high and mighty like, oh, the director did this, thus the film means something different. No. Don't bring that. With Victor Salva, it makes sense. With this, it is a difference in customs. It is a difference in the customs of a French man and American men. So, again, it's not... I personally don't like that he married a young girl at his age, at the age of 32. But it's a difference in cultures. It's a cultural difference. So I can't really say that he should be arrested, because he can't really be arrested because it was a different country. But yeah. Let me get to the pros and cons. Well, I mean, it's all going to be pros. But, again, Natalie Portman, Jean Reno, Gary Oldman, Danny Aiello all do great to fantastic jobs. Love the score by Eric Serra. Love Luc Besson's direction. The cinematography by Terry Arbogast. Gorgeous. Just, I can't say enough about it. Just everything about this movie. I can't really say so much more. Cons, I wish it was longer. I really do. I wish there were even more scenes between Leon and Matilda, because I've always thought the relationship was very interesting, and I mean, if they redo the movie, people are gonna bitch and moan about it even more, so I guess comment down below what your thoughts on this movie are. What do you think about the relationship? Be civil. No accusations. Just be nice in my comment section. Thank you. And like, subscribe, comment, whatever. And movie reviewer next door out.